Good morning, beloveds. For some reason, it just occurred to me that tomorrow is Halloween. And it's a terrifying thought, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, I know tomorrow is Halloween. I'm prepared for tomorrow to be Halloween. I was in Halloween all day yesterday, and yet I just had that thought, and I'm like, there's something I should be doing. I don't know what it is. All right. So, because I looked at the date, and it's October 30th. All right. It is October 30th. Our title is Choosing Freedom. The first quote is, I do not enjoy this weird language. Whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. And that is John 11:26. The second quote is, to trust in the law of good is to constantly believe that we are surrounded by a power which can and will cast out all fear from our minds, free us from all bondage, and set us safe and satisfied in a new order of living. And that is The Science of Mind, page 481. A woman prayed for guidance concerning her feelings towards her father. He had abused her as a child and threatened her in adulthood. Until she was a teenager, she did not realize such treatment wasn't normal. Even as an adult, she felt responsible for the abuse and tried to protect her father, though she knew better intellectually. Finally, she decided to stop being afraid and to tell him to stay away from her. She declared guilt could not govern her. She was no longer a fearful little girl at the mercy of this adult. She saw herself as a lovable, powerful person who had rights and could choose whom she wanted in her life. By loving and valuing herself as a worthy person, she changed her relationship with herself and with everyone around her. Until we know and believe in our hearts that we are worthy of being loved, we give away our power to others. Recognizing where we do this and changing our thinking about ourselves gives us choice and power unlimited. I am a beloved child of God. I am a wonderful, powerful person, free to choose my friends and relationships. I choose to allow only positive, supportive, and kind. I choose to allow only positive, supportive, kind, and caring relationships in my life. I am guided from within to love and care for myself. I recognize changes I can make, and claiming my power of choice, I make them with clear guidance from within. And that is Marilyn Mooney. Okay. I apologize for my struggling voice. I was out in it all day yesterday, and so my allergies are definitely kicking up. That's a hard topic today. It is. And here's what I'm going to tell you. When you choose yourself, when you choose to love yourself, when you choose yourself first, and you do not tolerate disrespect, okay, it doesn't mean that you won't encounter those people. What it means is when you encounter those people, it will no longer affect you at the center of your being. Okay? We are still going to because this is a messy material world. We are still going to encounter those people in our lives, in a variety. But what will happen is we will choose, because we are choosing ourselves first, we will no longer allow them to rule our emotions and our feelings about ourselves. I've had those situations where I was in conflict with somebody and I chose myself first. And the other person did not go away. But what it meant is that their behavior no longer affected me the way it had been. I was choosing myself first and not allowing their behavior to affect me in that way. Sometimes it meant that I limited my interactions with them. Sometimes it meant that and sometimes it does mean cutting people out of your lives. I have done that. But sometimes you're in a work situation and, you know, if you love your job and you're good at your job and you're well paid at your job, you don't want to leave your job. But you have this person that you're in conflict with. So when you choose yourself first, when you remember that you're a beloved child of God, and importantly also, you remember that this person that you are having conflict with is a beloved child of God, then you can get to a point where you don't take their behavior personally. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't take their behavior personally. So, and that's what it is about choosing freedom. Now, she uses a straight up hard example. You know, when you've got a father abusing a child, and that happens. It's like we grow up in this normal and we're like, we think this is normal. And then we get out into the rest of the world and we go, because there have been situations where, I've had interactions with one or the other of my parents. And then I've gone to another person, and said, is this normal? Because I'm now in relationships where I can do that. And when they look at me and go, yeah, no, that's not normal. Then I can say, okay. And then I can choose what to do with the interaction. And sometimes it means that with my parents, there are certain topics we don't talk about. You know, I have not been in a situation where I have needed to nor desired to cut either of my parents out of my life. Okay. But there are topics that are off limits. You know, there are topics that are off limits. And if the parent decides to start that topic, I will up and walk away. And I have done that. And it's like, I'm not having this conversation with you. One, it's none of your business. And two, I don't really care what you think. So, yeah, and I do it in a loving, kind, and compassionate way for both parties. You know, it's like, I'm not going to take this disrespect. And that's me choosing freedom. And you can do that with anybody. When you hit that point where you realize that you are centered and secure in the source of your own being, you can stop taking other people's behavior personally. You can realize that their behavior towards you is a reflection on them, not a reflection on you. And then you choose freedom. And then it doesn't matter what happens around you. That's what I'm talking about with heaven being a state of mind, being a state of consciousness. Then it doesn't matter what's going on around you. You can still choose joy. You can still choose joy. Because let's be honest, the world can be, and frequently is, a very messy place. But it doesn't mean that we need to be sad all the time. It means that we can take the joy when we find it. We can create the joy when we can create it. And what we have to do is when we encounter these people that don't have our best interests at heart or are thoughtless, you know, we don't take their behavior personally, and we choose how we interact with them. Or we choose not to interact with them at all. And we choose how the words that they say affect us. So, and that's not everything in that. You know, if you're in situations like that, then if you're in an abusive situation, then I would suggest taking steps, you know, maybe call a therapist and work on that. You know, especially if you keep putting yourself in those situations. Choosing yourself first in an abusive situation is not always enough. You know, if you're in a situation like that, then you know, take steps, make a plan, get out. So, okay. There was a line in here. Okay. Until we believe and know in our hearts that we are worthy of being loved, we give our power away to others. And that's what I'm talking about. When you choose yourself first, when you know that you are a beloved child of God, and that's why I say that every day, sometimes a couple of times a day, you are a beloved child of God. I can say it all I like until you can take it into your heart and believe it. That's where your power is. That's where your power is. And then you stop giving it away. So until we believe and know in our hearts that we are worthy of being loved, recognizing where we do this and changing our thinking about ourselves gives us choice and power unlimited. And sometimes I do have to look at myself in the mirror and say, you know, this person is having a really hard time. It has nothing to do with me. And then I can get on with it. But it also means that when they're having a really hard time, I don't have to put up with the disrespect. I can do something else. I can go somewhere else. I can do something else. I can choose not to interact with them to the extent that I am able to. So choose yourself first. And remember, 99% of the time, it's not about you. It is not about you. And if we could remember that, that would be it. And then if you have people who are disrespectful in your life, be it a parent, be it especially family, that a phrase that really does get under my skin is blood is thicker than water. Yeah, well, if you come from an abusive family, blood is not thicker than water. Choose yourself first. Go get a family of choice that will love you the way you deserve to be loved. And love yourself the way you deserve to be loved. Honestly, it starts there. It starts there. If you want to choose a family, then choose yourself first. Love yourself first. Love yourself as the beloved child of God that you are. And then you will find yourself surrounded by beloved children of God who will love you the way you deserve to be loved. Okay, I do adore her treatment here at the end. I am a beloved child of God. I am a wonderful, powerful person, free to choose my friends and relationships. I choose to allow only positive, supportive, kind, and caring relationships into my life. Okay, I choose to allow only positive, supportive, kind, and caring relationships into my life. That means that when we encounter people who are not that, they will cease to affect us. It doesn't mean that they won't be in our lives, but they will cease to affect us. I am guided from within to love and care for myself. I am guided from within to love and care for myself. Know that spiritual practice of doing something loving and kind and compassionate for yourself. I am guided from within. I want you to practice on yourself because you deserve your own love, you deserve your own kindness, you deserve your own compassion. You are also the best subject to practice on because you are always there. So, I recognize changes I can make. And sometimes that's an important one. Sometimes you look around your life and you're going, I don't know. Well, then treat to know what changes you can make to support this loving, kind, and compassionate life that you are creating. I recognize the changes I can make, and claiming my power of choice, I make them with clear guidance from within. Get in touch with the source of your own being. Know the God. Go get to know your God self, and then allow that guidance to help you make the life that you want, to choose the loving relationships you want, especially with yourself. The most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Honest. So, the title is Choosing Freedom. It's about choosing yourself first. I will go back to the airline meme. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then help your neighbor. All right? Okay. So the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to recognize the changes we can make and accept the guidance from within, claiming the power to make them. Right? I know. It's like, oh. And hey, if you're in a good place and don't have any changes you need to make, more power to you. But if you have a couple of changes, minor tweaks, or some big changes you need to make, see them clearly. Claim the power to make them and accept the guidance to do so. All right? Okay, that's the mission. The other mission is the same mission I give you always, which is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. Big, small, doesn't matter. Point is to do something loving for yourself, kind, to practice on yourself, to create that both self-care, because that was part of what today was about, to create both self-care and to create joy. All right. If we can create heaven on earth by changing our state of mind, practicing loving, kind, compassion on ourselves is part of it. I have used the beloved child of God a lot today. So you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. When you practice on yourself, then when others' behavior is not so great, you are in a place to not take it personally. You are in a place to not take it personally. And you can get up and walk away. Be that literally, physically, or simply mentally and emotionally. You can do that too. I think it's a quote from the Dalai Lama, and it's about animals. It's like, if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them. Same goes with people. You know, if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them. So, if you can withdraw from a sticky situation, emotionally, mentally, and physically, then both of you will walk away unharmed. And the best way to do that is to practice on yourself and to have that bank of love, kindness, and compassion. I am about creating a first response, a default setting, a habit, so that no matter what happens, you can respond lovingly, kindly, compassionately to yourself and to others. All right. So you got your mission, you got the spiritual practice, and I do lean into the self-care on that, but it is also about joy. So, you know, I say take the walk, I say take the nap, I say take the deep breath, but I also remind you to eat dessert first, okay? Or just eat dessert. And really, really, really dig into it and enjoy it. This life is meant to be enjoyed. Maybe not 100% of the time, because sometimes there's work to do, but as much as we can. And that doesn't mean that we can't take joy in our work. Frequently, many of us do. Okay. I also encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body. I know I skipped the gym today. Not my fault. My gym, the trainer decided to take his kids to see their grandparents. But I needed the extra sleep, so I took it. I'll do some stretching later. I will engage my mind and my body. I also encourage you to drink plenty of water. I did not drink enough water, so I'm going to make up for it today. Hydration is super important. And to get that early in your day bright light, it will reset your hormones or reset your circadian rhythms, which is partly hormonal. Who knew? The early in the morning light stimulates the pituitary gland, which then stimulates, it's called the master gland for a reason. And it does help reset, like your melatonin and your serotonin. And so you'll have more energy during the day. You'll feel better at night. You'll sleep better at night. It's a thing. You can look it up. It's kind of cool. Okay. I'm going to get off that. It's science. I love that's why I lean into the science of mind. It's science. And in the words of Ernest Holmes, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you. You do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around you all the time. So you can take Emma's advice and look for the good and praise it. That is a great way to start. You can choose today. You can choose yourself. You can choose freedom. You can choose the center of your own being, the source of your own being. You can choose your God self. And let the rest of it go. Choose yourself. All right? You deserve to be loved. Okay. Yep, there's that water. That need for water. Social media. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center. We are Creative Life Spark. I am the running Rev Ryan. If you want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact, and the hot links are hot. There are book studies, there are classes, all that kind of stuff going on. and I need to go and eat breakfast and get ready for that. So I'm going to get off here, but I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, an amazing day, a Sunday, a sunny day, a beautiful fall day, a wonder-filled day, a magical day, an enchanting day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased and well represented. It is a state of grace. And the great thing about grace is it can't be earned. It is always granted, and it can't be taken away. Okay? So, know who you are. Choose yourself first. Okay. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. But first, we will have an amazing service for you right here at 11 a.m. Unless you're watching this on YouTube, and then who knows what day of the week it is. All right, beloveds, take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.